Restarted. Okay. I'm assuming you can hear me. Hopefully everybody can see me. It looks like I'm having some slight delays, but we're gonna deal with it. It's bad enough. Let's see if I can bring this guy on with me just for a second, because I need my emotional support partner here for a second. Toucan will not be with us tonight. He will not be enjoying his ramblings, unfortunately. But I will not be alone this evening. We actually do have a special show tonight. We're going to be having Danny and Tommy from Black Tiger Airsoft. They had a lot of big news to talk about, big moves, where they've gone, where they're headed. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick him out of here. We don't need him here anymore since he can't be bothered to show up. And we're gonna go ahead and bring these guys on here. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Welcome to the show.
Can you actually hear me this time?
But look, we can hear you. Oh my goodness.
I did get my phone.
Jason, what's going on, buddy? How are you? Stick around. I'm going to give a quick demonstration there, Jason. Where'd I put it? Uh-oh. Where did I put it? This is, maybe I'm not. Oh, there it is. We're getting ready to launch a new product. And this is because of Jason. We're actually launching this product. He requested it, so we decided to make it for him. But before we do that, let me go ahead and do some introductions here. Or you guys can introduce yourselves if you want. I mean, you're pretty well known. Danny and Tommy, both of you guys from Black Tiger Airsoft. Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
You want to go ahead, Tommy?
Oh, you go first, Danny. I'll follow you.
Well, I'm Danny. I'm the owner of Black Tiger Airsoft. I've owned it for a little over 3 years now. I've been playing airsoft forever, and that's about it. Tommy?
Hey, I'm Tommy.
Man of many words. All right.
Helping Danny with Black Tiger Airsoft for 3 years, and I've been playing a little bit longer than that.
Oh boy! Oh, you guys, fantastic! All right.
Keep it short, sweet, to the point.
I'm fine.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. Look, you guys are fantastic to have you on. I've known you guys. My God, gotta be Danny. Gotta be at least, I think, 8 years, 7-8 years.
I think I first met you at Overwatch. One of the Overwatches. I think Overwatch 1 or 2.
My first Overwatch was 4.
4.
Dom was at 3. I was at 4. Was my first Overwatch. And then we were going up to back when it was DV8 before it became Black Tiger, and now DV8 again. It was either at Overwatch or it was up at DV8, one or the other. And Tommy, I think the same, right? Yeah. Up at DV8 probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those of you that aren't from the area, by the way, real quick, Black Tiger Airsoft, DV8 Airsoft, those are local airsoft fields here in Florida, Lithia, Florida specifically, originally. DV8 Airsoft was the property, was the company. Danny took over Black Tiger Airsoft 3 years ago, you said, Dan?
Yeah.
Took over Black Tiger Airsoft 3 years ago and went ahead and began leasing the land that was DV8. Okay, yeah, thanks for all the reminders. I know we're here. And began running Black Tiger Airsoft at the DV8 field.
Yep.
Did that successfully for 3 years. And then just recently made the announcement, made the move. You went and picked up your own land up in Plant City. Is that right?
I'm actually, that's where my house is at. We purchased in Plant City at the beginning of the year, and we just opened last weekend for our first opening weekend, our soft opening. We're calling it soft opening because I'm not done with what I planned for Black Tiger to be. I mean, we have a nice playable field, and a lot of the feedback has been awesome for what we have right now, but it's not enough. We're going to keep on going and keep on, Tommy's been posting this week. We just got 6 more containers yesterday and today. So
Fantastic.
we're building awesome. More. So I want to have a grand opening eventually, but it's not going to be a grand opening. We're done. The field's over. It's a grand opening where we have an awesome field, and I feel like we could have a grand opening, but I'm gonna continue building. So I mean, it's never gonna be done.
Okay.
It's working. But this is actually the first time that Black Tigers actually owned the property we're leasing. I've been in I was whenever the original owner owned the Black Tiger store, and that was on MLK. We didn't actually have a field back then. We just
Mhm.
played cards, but Black Tiger started out as a martial arts store. And
Back in the
then
Ninja Star days.
yeah, it started out the big top flea market. The 2002 is whenever he started it. He sold Black Tiger martial arts supply, and then eventually got into airsoft stuff at the martial arts supply, over the martial arts supply, and then he moved to Martin Luther King store there for a while, and then whenever I first started purchasing products from him, I was a young 11-year-old with money, and I'm like, oh, let's go buy some airsoft guns. I had cheap $40 low powered guns. Went to my first airsoft game. But I've always stayed with Black Tigers. Now I
Yeah,
own.
Greg, and because the start was
Okay.
with flea market ninja weapons, that's why we've always reserved the right to never ban foam swords or anything along those lines, because it really pays tribute to our heritage of where Black Tiger got its start.
And it's just a little
That's
bit.
awesome.
It
Now,
pays players through the play stuff.
no, good. Sorry, I apologize, guys, for a little bit of connectivity issues, things like that here. Hopefully it picks itself up. Just trying to make sure everything's clean. And like I told you guys before we started streaming, if it was going to go wrong today, it's gone wrong so far.
Yeah, it's a little
Website went
choppy
down,
on
everything
some
went
side.
down. So, oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can't.
Right before we got on here, I'm like, oh no, the website's down. I'm like, that.
Yeah, give me one more second. Let me see if I can help this out a little bit. Yeah, let me do this here. Oops. Sorry, guys. Sorry, everybody. I say everybody, but I haven't seen anybody comment, so it's actually kind of leaving me, other than Jay, it's leading me to believe that I'm not 100% sure we are actually properly broadcasting. I do see it on the DEO page coming through, but I don't know that anybody's commenting there. And I am just trying to let everything catch up. All right, Albert, there we go. Can you guys hear me okay, or am I still coming in choppy?
No, you coming
I
in
can hear you perfectly fine.
Okay. All right. Jay and Albert, if you guys just give me a quick comment on how everything's coming through. I know it looks like it's coming in a little slow, but just let me know. I apologize for all the technical difficulties tonight. Maybe it's because Toucan's not with us tonight. All right, cool.
Good.
All right, well, perfect then. So I was gonna so Danny, are you the sole owner of Black Tiger? How's that work?
Yeah, I own it completely.
Okay, all right, and Tommy, I know you do. I know you tech for Black Tiger. What other role? What else?
I don't know, Danny. We haven't figured out a title for me. Danny, what is that title? Because we always jokingly say GM, but we mean Grease Monkey.
Yeah, Grease Monkey. But I would consider him the general manager. Like he handles the more public appearance of Black Tiger. I'm not really a big people person. I don't like talking to crowds and all. Oh, Tommy, take over. You got this, right? So,
That's true.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Or the bad stuff. Danny doesn't like dealing with the bad stuff either.
that's why I have. I mean, a good told me that a good entrepreneur should find his weaknesses and hire his weakness. So that's what I got Tommy for. Like Tommy's. I don't like talking to crowds. I don't like talking to people. I'm not. I don't like being the face of everything. I like to be in the kind of run things and someone else be the face. Like,
that That is, I mean, I've got my Toucan. That is my absolutely my number two. He does everything and then some. I'd be nowhere without him. Absolutely nowhere without him.
And I wouldn't be really as successful without Tommy. I probably wouldn't even be what we were at.
All right. So what? I guess if you want to talk about it, I don't know if you do. What prompted the decision to open up the new field?
It mainly just because we had a lease going on with the things were fun. I wanted to expand and put more effort into my, but
Danny, you're coming in choppy. I don't know. Greg, is he coming in choppy on your end?
Yeah, he's coming chopping to me as well. Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Is it any better?
That actually is better. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I was saying.
But it's okay, Danny. I can try to answer for it since every time you start.
I think it's every time you lean back. I think I don't know where your mic is, but I think it's sound canceling, and when you lean further back, it's actually deadening the sound.
I always wanted to own something for Black Tiger, like having our own.
Nope.
Owning the field is awesome because all the effort we put into it's an investment in our field as a whole. And whenever we're leasing the property, I couldn't really do a lot of things I wanted because ultimately it's up to the person who owns the property trying to make sure that they're happy, me being happy, and anything I wanted, like any expensive or large improvement to the field, it wouldn't be mine to own. Like if I put a bunch of money into the field, it's not my own. I can't really. Tommy, can you help me?
Yeah, I can go ahead and answer. So, we're very thankful, for the opportunity we've had at the DVA location. Black Tiger was able to, help Deviate a lot in the beginning because they were doing offset weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to step in and fill the weekends and, really create a very large community there and, give players a wonderful experience. And, there were lots of things that we brought to the table that really helped their flourish, and it helped us grow, and it gave us that opportunity to grow, to build the store up, to do outside vending, to really give Danny the opportunity to, instead of this being, well, hey, I want this to be my side hustle, my side hobby, and Greg, I know you've said it a million times, there's never money in airsoft. But it's given, Danny an opportunity to, chase his aspiration, chase his dreams and go, you know what, it's an opportunity for me to give back to the community and give me a field that I wanted to play on when I was 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 or whenever we all started. So,
and I also every
mom
team to have an airsoft field in their backyard, and I'm like, hey, I did that now in my backyard.
Is it really? It's that close to your house, or is it?
It's a pretty far walk, but it is in the backyard.
That's awesome. That really is. That's super cool.
Yeah, and because this is the first time that since 2002 when Black Tiger started that we actually own the property that we're on. Even whenever the Steffner to Plant City was a referee at Black Tiger when I was 16, we didn't own that property. We leased the property, but we had more control of the field because it was a hunting lease that the owner had at the time, and we could build bases and all that. We had a lot of freedom there, and then from that went I remember probably 2013 or 2014 it went DVA, and they were um off weekends. So like some of the weekends it was DV8, some of the weekends it was Black Tiger, and then slowly Black Tiger took over and ran every single week.
Okay.
We've never actually owned the property. This is the first time we actually bought the property ourselves, own it. So now we have like every dollar I put into the field, it's just investment in our community here. We have something for people to play on, and it's something that Black Tiger owns as a company. I'm really proud of that. I've gotten to that level where Black Tiger owns everything.
So, and I mean, it's absolutely awesome feeling. I mean, I know the ups and downs of it, obviously, as well. And to be able to do that is fantastic. That's, Toucan and I talked about it. When you first announced your opening, we started advertising it, which, your grand opening was on, or your going away was on one of our game days, which is, I mean, it's hard to do. But we've never really had, I mean, first of all, I don't really believe in competition as far as airsoft goes. The more of us there are, the more players there's going to be. So it's not really competition to me.
I mean, we have our own small community around our field. We have our regulars, but I always encourage players like, hey, if you play at the same field every single weekend, you're gonna get. I mean, go the field at the back of your hand. You're gonna play the same corners every single weekend. It's not gonna get fun. So if you go other fields within a couple hours, holy cow, branch out and find other fields in one location. And
Absolutely, yeah.
No, I agree. It's like Call of Duty. You can't play the same map over and over again. I mean, you gotta go do national events. You got to check out all the fields in your town. You got to do the indoors. You've got to try it out, and you get the opportunity to support them and keep their community thriving and going. Because at the end of the day, sometimes, we can't all drive to GTI every single time there's a Milsim event there. We can't drive to Guardian Center, so everybody needs a place that's close enough for them on the weekends or during the week for them to be able to go there, shoot some BB guns, and have a good time.
And that's what's awesome about having a local field. Like, you could, if it field's within 30 minutes of your house, that's awesome. A lot of people can't allocate time to drive 2 or 3 hours to a field. Sometimes you can, but a lot of times you can't. So having that quick location, run, play an hour or two, go back to work, whatever. I want to answer this question that someone posted about a 3.
You may be choppy, but we'll see.
Yeah. Try staying lean forward a little bit. I wonder if it is the mic or not.
It might be because I'm on my phone right now. My computer didn't work.
Oh.
So we currently don't have any 3 stories. Me and Tommy were actually sitting down designing with those 6 new containers that came in. We're designing our first more complicated building that's going to have multi-story, and it's going to be 2 stories. We're not going 3 yet. I think for now we're going to stay on one single and 2 stories only, because I don't want to make a single 3-story and make it a focal point for the whole entire field. If we do 3 stories, I want to have at least. So right now,
Don, did that answer?
Yeah. So yeah,
that answered well for you, Don.
So no 3 stories right now. We're currently designing our first 2-story structure, and we don't know if we'll have a 3-story structure in the future because they tend to be centralized and a very OP position, which is okay. But the biggest, broadest kind of like overall arc for the field has been, we don't want it to be a field where people only want to play in 5% of it. We want it to be a field where people want to play in 95% of it.
Definitely. And I want to make sure that every position, while being like, some positions are going to be really, really good, you're going to have a good overview of the field, but there's got to be an equal opportunity to take you out of that position as well. So if you get to like a top of 3-story, you're not going to spend 45 minutes defending it. You get to the top of a 2-story building, you might stay there for 10 minutes, get 5 or 6 kills, and then someone's going to sneak a shot on you. And I think that's a lot more fair of a field.
Let's see. All right. All right. There we go. I was trying to, while you were doing it, I was trying to find the new address. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared for it. I didn't have the new address. That is it there though, right?
Yeah.
That's the new address.
Yep.
Has it been updated on Apple, Greg?
And it looks like it's. I don't know. I actually pulled it from Facebook, so came off Facebook.
So updated on Google, Facebook, and generally, if you go on any web page, the only one that hasn't updated yet, because it's been for annoying, is Apple for some reason. So don't.
I can Apple wants you to pay for the update. You get one free. They actually called me when I moved my store, and they're like, "Hey, we want to update." I'm like, "Great, go ahead." They're like, "That'll cost you." I'm like, "Google does it for free. Goodbye." And I hung up the phone.
Even Google's getting annoying now because the only way to verify
Banana.
I own the page. The only way to verify is I had to submit a video showing the street sign, but there's no street sign in front of my property. So go an elaborate route and hold up an iPhone showing the location. And I had to walk over and open the door of the store at the same time. Say, hey, look, business, please. I've owned this business for 3 years now. Can I please have ownership of the account? It's
So real quick pause. We're gonna get back to it. Jason, I did not, but I don't want to lose you, so I am going to show it. I did send this to him. So this is the beta. Alpha is probably going to be released. I mean, it'll be done by Thunderdome, so it'll be used. But we are getting ready to release. It's Airsoft. Let me preface Airsoft. This is the Dead and Outfitters oil filter suppressor. So make sure I can show that okay. So this is it here, and it actually does have proper baffles inside. So there's your baffle set right there. It comes with a second baffle set that actually will house a tracer unit. So it'll go in there. And it is counterclockwise threaded. It's so both the top and the base are counterclockwise threaded to fit onto the barrel so that when you do tighten and close, it retightens onto the barrel. So Jason, thank you very much for the suggestion. And because of that, we went ahead and made the DEO oil filter suppressor. So that was our commercial interruption. And now back to the show.
No, I dig that idea. I hope you come out with stickers that look like the Fram logo or
Pure. We actually were going to do that. We're doing Fram was going to say Blam. STP is stock. And I had oh gosh, I forget what the last one was. I had a third one. I can't remember what it was right now, but we sat around kind of brainstorming, came up with a bunch of them. We're going to just make them on there and make it look just like it. But you know, the default one is just going to be this. It's got the logo engraved in it. And we're just trying to do all those new little things. Tommy, you'd love it. We actually just released the what's known as Papa's Dad system. It's the dual air delivery system. So it actually, unlike other twin tank systems, it's all QD. It's full seal QD. So without changing anything except for detaching the tanks themselves, you can fit twin 13s all the way up to twin 110s. And it will, and not only is it quick disconnect, it actually swivels. So what'll happen is while you're wearing it on your back, now it'll sit more flush on your back versus one big tank in the center. But when you move, it actually moves with your back. Each tank moves individually. So I've had some guys, some speedsoft players, test them out, roll around on the ground with them, things like that. People that ride in vehicles, you can sit flush against the seat. You get all that out of it. And you know, twin 26s is 52 CI. You know, that's a big tank. And you actually get more air out of two than you do out of two individually. So because it equalizes the pressure. So yeah, just trying to come up with a couple of things. And a couple other new things that are on the horizon.
Well, I'll definitely have to look at it at the North vs. South event you'll be hosting up at in Ocala at Wayne's World.
Look at that! What a quick segue, Danny. I appreciate you closing the field in order to have everybody come up to the event. That's fantastic. I didn't know you would do that for us.
I unfortunately can't do that, but half my staff is going though. So
okay, all right. I can appreciate. I mean, you know, so this would be the last time you guys are all north, by the way.
You're changing
because by the next, so every year we move up further. And I do believe I think where you're at is still considered north. You're north of State Road 70, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, North Natives still technically.
Yep. So you guys are still going to be north, but next year that Mason-Dixon line moves up further, and you guys will actually probably become southern. as we continue to move up.
Do you deliver the banjo, or do we have to buy our own?
So the one thing that we thought we were going to have a problem with was an easy solve. The community helped solve it. Actually, guys had a suggestion. Most people that they were if they were playing north, they liked the fact that they were wearing green camouflage, all this kind of stuff. So what we did was we changed it to the south is civilian. It's a militia, so it's whatever you want to wear as long as it's not green or tan. Don't care what it is, just can't be green or tan. It's not camouflage. The only camouflage that's allowed is multicam black, because black is allowed on the south. Whereas the north has to be any kind of military camo except for black. It can only be green or tan. Any doesn't matter what it is, only green or tan. And there we go. Thank you very much. That's one of the CEOs right there, Rather's Rage Orlando. So what the benefit of that is, this year some guys are north. They're used to wearing their green and all that. Next year they don't have to buy a new uniform, just wear civilian clothing. So really makes it easy to do that as we continue to move up. Not red. Yeah, not red. That is correct. Very important detail. Do not wear red. Definitely not. Danny can't join you on the south. Danny is north.
Next year.
Pay attention.
Next year, I'll join you on the south, though.
Next year. So back to it. So I know I didn't get a chance to go and play up at the new Black Tiger.
It's okay, Greg. Neither have we. We haven't had a chance to play either.
I know Toucan did. He said he had a blast. He said the layout and everything. The field was fantastic. So how big right now? I saw the overview of it. How big is it right now? What's the playable area?
So roughly, we have 20 acres. The city alone is going to represent about 10 of that.
Okay.
And then we have about a 4-acre swamp, and then the rest of it's going to be between the parking lot and the woods.
Okay. Do you have wooded play, or is the woods themselves? Because I saw where it was cut out. Are the woods in play or not?
The woods in the swamp are completely in play. Right now we haven't we've done a little hiking through the woods, but it's so thick that you're like mostly, if you want to sneak through it and be like a the Rhodesian's gonna love it, but me as a chair softer, I need at least a machete to get through it. But I did a little exploring since we got there, and there are a lot of potential woods and potential locations, because in the future, after we finish with the city, I want to start going into the woods, and I want to build like a roadie swamp base,
Yep.
like the old FOB in the woods kind of deal. And then I want to build trails through them. That way, it's not so impossible to sneak through. But this weekend, on Sunday particularly, there was several groups that went through the woods, and they snuck in through the city, and they decimated people because you look in the woods and it's so thick. You're like, oh, no one's gonna go through there. And then next minute, BBs are flying through the woods and hitting you in the back of the head. You're like, oh, maybe they can go through there. So, but in the future, we're gonna start cutting trails and everything to make it a lot easier to play in that woods. But it's still playable. So this weekend, if people want to actually try to sneak through the woods, and they're more than welcome to. I just recommend don't wear clothing you're not afraid of getting a little dirty, and just if you can't push through, turn around. Sorry, my dog's barking.
I know that was one of the things, back when in the op days. Op was a very, very small property, 7.5 acres playable, but the trails through the woods to each one of the bases is what made it super cool to play on. I think you've got, with the city you've got there is awesome, and having the additional woods really adds to it. That's going to be a great field to play on. And you said it's approximately 20 acres.
Yeah.
Where'd you go? There.
Oh, he's gone.
Okay. Well, we lost him. All right.
In the city right now, we've got 12 or 13 containers already built up with windows and doors and interiors all done. We've got a small trench network, and we're planning to expand the trench network. Everybody yearns for the trenches, the trenches, one of the things that you can just knock out with a skid steer, seems to be very much a player favorite. So we plan to
Yep.
drastically increase that. One, it's just time, and it's just digging. And if that's something that the players want, and it does, I watched players play through it, and I was like, oh, I need to be jumping in these trenches. These look awesome.
Dude, I gotta tell you, when we took over the field we're on now, we had years ago had trenches through the wood line, right up near the wood line, and the trench came up about, if I remember right, it only came up about 2 feet, but went down like 4 feet. So it was almost level with the ground, but you were sunk down, and there were trenches that ran, hundreds and hundreds of feet all the way around. Guys loved playing in it. Right now, we got to rebuild it because the hurricane destroyed it. But guys absolutely loved playing through the trenches. So you're on the right track with that for sure.
I'm sorry, my dog is chewing off me. Yeah, but the trenches were kind of an afterthought too. It was kind of funny because I had to get some equipment in there to move containers around because we were having trouble getting the big trucks to the furthest point of the city, and one of the drivers of the equipment, he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "You paid for this rental. You have it for 3 days. Do you want to just dig some trenches?" And I didn't think about. I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." And the trenches actually turned out. I'm like, "Oh, those are awesome." I didn't want to go too crazy because there's a portion of the field that has no containers yet, and I don't want to put trenches where there's going to be in the future containers, because then it makes it harder to navigate with the big giant containers. I don't want someone to fall into a container by accident with a vehicle or anything. But once all the ground floor containers are in place, I want to go nuts with trenches though, because it adds more definition. And then Tommy and some of the other players are trying to convince me to put like trenches with containers in them to like kind of like make them pillboxy in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm for it. I think they convinced me a little bit. I thought it was a weird idea. I'm like, why would you bury a container? But
Well, once the Rhodesians were like, we'll buy that one container in case it rusts out, from being buried.
And they're like, well, yeah, we'll pay for it. I'm like, oh, if you guys want to do that, then sure, sponsor a container.
I would say for sure. One of the things I learned from everything that happened at Op, as much permanent material as you can get is what I would use. The 3-story, 2-story, those were all fantastic when they were first built. The CQB maze was amazing when it was first built. One full season, maybe 2 full seasons of weather, and it starts falling apart.
Well,
no matter how good the wood is, it just starts falling apart.
We figured that out too. We found out parts of the city that we can't dig too deep because the ground is not, like, half the city is on clay, and whenever water hits the clay, it goes right through, so we never have a problem with flooding. The other half of the city is on just normal dirt, so if we leave the trench too deep, when it rains, we're gonna come back to a pond.
Yep.
And we've done a good job by trial and error of figuring out where the water can go, where it can't go, and so we know where to put the trenches where they won't flood. Besides one area we found out today because it was raining all last night, and we're like, oh, okay, we can't put trenches there anymore. But I think most of the field is, or most of the trenches we have now are in solid ground, and then the future planned trenches are going to be a really nice, like. I know it's a very popular thing to do, so I'm all for making more trenches and possibly burying a container.
Look, I can't see it being a bad idea. Somebody's going to want to play in it. It's only an attraction. You're only adding something else.
Yeah, one of the things we definitely focused on early on was there's a certain feel that you get when like BBs hit metal versus like when they hit wood or they hit tree. There's that like that ping. So I think we've got like 160 hollow steel drums that we've been using for ancillary cover. So a pallet with 4 barrels on it. So just enough for 2 to 3 people to use it as cover, but you have to crouch down. You have to hunker down to use it.
Yep.
That's been a
Yeah.
driving focus, is really trying to make sure that any features we add, one, like you said, they're going to have a huge longevity. What's the maintenance going to look like in 5 years? Are we completely rebuilding the structure, or is this going to be something that's going to take standard maintenance in 2-3 years?
And then
Right. We had you go from uh, appearance factor to danger. If it gets too rickety, 2-story, 3-story, things like that. We actually we ended up taking the 2-story and not allowing anybody to get up onto the second floor. The 3-story, we didn't allow anybody to go up in the crow's nest, because when you get up there, the trap door wasn't working right anymore. We were worried about people falling through. Like had to just stop all that, because it just 3-4 years it starts wearing out, and you got to replace it. And is it worth the time and money? You got to add them both up. Dropping a containers aren't cheap. They're it's an equivalent cost almost. But to drop it, cut it, and you're done, versus build this building, and then next year swap out some panels and build it again, and then next year keep doing it. Oh, now we got to tear the whole thing down to stud and rebuild it because it's completely weathered.
it's definitely a high cost up front, but like I said, the longevity of these buildings are going to last a lot longer. And then, as well as we are building wood buildings and wood structures out there too. It's just we're taking extra steps on everything we're doing. We're like the wooden structure we built. The first thing we did when we put it out there, we immediately painted it with like a bunch of thick paint, and hopefully that'll give us an extra season out of it. And then we also have like inside the containers and all that, even though they're covered in the containers, the wood that the built wood walls and everything we're building in there, we're actually looking at painting that as well, so hopefully they last longer too. You've seen fields after years of use, and even wood that's not completely out in the elements, if it's just out there with no type of conditioning, like on the walls or anything, or insulation, they're gonna wear out over time. So I'm hoping that everything we build, I can get solid years and years of use out of, because I don't want to have to keep on shelling out money to repair and replace those. I want the money to go into new stuff, so that we're constantly have new stuff coming out there. And then eventually, if something does happen to the field, my priority is safety, and I don't want to close down containers and all that. If something breaks in the container, I immediately want to go back and fix it. That way it's out there, it's playable. No one's going to step on anything that's going to hurt them. Like me and Tommy were designing the 2-story, because this is gonna be the first 2-story we're building on the field. We're not doing wood on the staircase. I decided from the get go I want to use steel. I want to have a solid steel. It's a little bit more expensive, and but it's a lot longer durability on it.
Sure.
And that.
Yeah. No. It's something as simple as a coating on the containers, and on the edges, rubberizing. If it's a sharp edge, rubberize that. If it's an exposed piece of metal, just make sure you get some kind of weather coating.
So like all of our windows have a rubber coating going around the inside of them, because that was one thing that we were always worried about, was like with the sharp edges. So the metal trim that you normally put on doors to prevent them from getting dinged. Gosh, Danny, I don't even know how many feet of that we've gone through.
I think we've gone through like 2,000 feet of it.
Yeah, so every window right now has mitered in, perfect angled rubber to prevent from you scratching your hand or scratching your gun or any of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
nice.
It's nice where you can go and you can lay your gun on it, and it's not going to scratch the crap out of your gun too. That's also a plus. But the main thing is you put your hand on there, or if you're walking quickly, like a lot of times people are not paying attention to the surroundings when they're running through a container. I don't want someone to run immediately into a window and their arm catches a piece of metal and you get scraped up that way. I mean,
So, and are you going to be? You're going to maintain the every weekend schedule? Or are you going to do some kind of rotations? What's the goal there?
We're doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday currently. But I'm
Mhm.
finding out on Fridays people have real day jobs. It's kind of weird.
Yep.
And
Yep.
They can just drop everything and come play airsoft.
yeah, it's totally a weird concept. People have to like work. It's I don't know. I have a day job too, but what I was thinking about doing is, especially like whenever kids are on break, like for summertime and all that, I want to
Yep.
do
Mhm.
Friday nights. So instead of starting at 8 a.m. like we do on a Saturday or a Sunday, I want to do like the game start at like noon, and then we work and we play until about 11, so noon to 10, noon to 11. I'm not sure. We haven't got thought of a time yet, but we go on a little later. We start later in the day, and then we're also investing in lighting a lighting system into the city.
Nice.
That way, it's like every week, and you come on a Friday, you get a little portion of a night game, and people
That's
that
awesome.
when they get off work they could immediately go straight there and play and have a good time, because some people want to do other things on Saturdays. So you get off work, you play there, then you can go out partying after, whatever you want to do, and then you have Saturday, you can play Saturday, and then um if we do, when we do that, I want to do it incentivize people to come multiple days. So I want to make weekend prices. So if you want to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday nonstop, we'll have a cheaper price than paying for each day individually.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. No, I'm definitely. I understand you're gonna have occasionally you're gonna have special guest chef. I mean, I greatly appreciate that. The invite is
No.
fantastic.
I'm totally open to that. One of my neighbors, he actually has a food truck where he makes egg rolls, and he makes custom egg rolls. He's all these different flavors and all that.
Oh wow,
and
there you go.
and he was like, "Hey man, can I come out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm all for it. Just let me, like, a weekend that I don't want to cook. I'll have a guest come in and cook, and that way the players are not eating the same. I mean, I'm not saying that our food's the worst. I want to make sure we
Oh,
spice it
yeah.
up. I want more foods to come in there. People aren't just eating the same hamburger, cheeseburger, and chicken sandwiches every weekend.
That's true. Our current ratio on spicing it up is Danny or Danny's, mom, who has helped so much at the field, is like, I don't feel like cooking today. Is all right. We're ordering pizza. So anything we can do to swap off that rotation.
Yeah,
But
Well,
Greg, if you
I
want to come
actually
cook, anytime you let us know. I know Toucan was said you were very sad that you couldn't make it and that you absolutely
I
wanted to
was,
play.
yeah. I am I'm right now. I my first actual play, like I can't even count Thunderdome. Thunderdome is the next game I'm going to, which is in oh my goodness, 2 weeks. Not even full 2 weeks now. And I'm not in full bore play at that one since I'm
CO
running CO inside. Yeah. Uh, I'm going to play a little bit, but it's a lot more LARP for me in that role because I'm a USSR Czar Premier. So and it's just a matter of hyping the guys up. So then I got North versus South after that, and then I got a break, and then Alabama, and then a break, and then I'm in South Carolina. South Carolina, I actually am. I got asked to fill in for Beowulf at Stonebreaker. He is Chaos Company CO, and I got asked to fill in for that. So that is technically going to be probably my first actual game back since the shoulder surgery. So I'm taking it easy. I haven't following the whole plan. My PT, the therapist, is happy with the progress, so they're not upset with me at all. So I'm good. I really am looking forward to getting back out there, though. It's been way too long, and I definitely see in the future us doing. I don't know if you remember years ago, we did it. It was op days years ago. We actually brought the entire op team out to well, I think it was still DB8 at the time, and it was like op versus kind of game. I love having community versus community stuff. I think that's a lot of fun, and it gets the exposure out there, bringing folks up that way, and being like, all right, we're up here, we're representing DEO, and you're representing Black Tiger. Those are the two teams. Let's have at it. Let's have a great day, and it just adds that little extra spice, if you will.
definitely.
Well, I don't know if you can make it, but I know on the 30th we're doing our annual Easter egg hunt where we hide eggs all over the field, and you can only collect them during game. And then you turn those eggs in up front, and then you get raffle tickets. It's the only raffle we do where you can potentially get more raffle tickets than anybody else. Because every other raffle we do for day and night games or special events, everybody gets one. Nobody can shell out cash to buy more. This is the only one where you can get more raffle
Hey, Donna.
tickets. Yeah.
That's cool. We something similar years back. We did Easter egg hunt, throwing candy out, stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. That's a lot of fun. Love doing that. So let's see. So you had your soft opening. I know Toucan said that went great. This weekend, what do you got going on for this weekend?
It's just a standard weekend for us. To see how, because I know the soft opening for us was a little bit hectic. Our parking lot was definitely full. We kind of run around a little bit Saturday. Friday was good. Saturday was overcrowded, but we were able to manage, and Sunday was perfect. So this weekend we should have a normal steady crowd. If Mother Nature is nice to us, hopefully. She wasn't nice to us this week during the week, but. So trying to work out there during the week and while it's raining is a little hard.
So yeah, Friday we're still operating at our normal hours, which have been gates open at 8, 9, and then gameplay from 10 to 5:30. Same thing for Saturday, and then Sundays we do our Milsim day where everybody used tourniquets. Every game mode, most people don't get respawns unless their team completed objectives in the previous matches. That's more of the. You'll have a good time, but that one's like that's the game day we try to get people ready for the national events where nobody's going to make sure that the teams are balanced. Nobody's going to make sure everybody's having a good time. You're going to be put up with obstacles, and the harder you work at the beginning of the day, the easier your day will be at the end of the day.
Nice.
But a lot of players, they really enjoy that because it gives them more freedom, and we normally run multiple teams, so it's not just Team A and Team B. I pride myself if there's a group of guys that all show up wearing the same matching camo and they want to be their own faction, even if they're 5 dudes, and they want to go against a team that's 10 dudes and against a team that's 15 dudes, I will let them do that. Standard setup we do that every team gets a flag, and that flag is like their fob. And their first match, every team, starts on opposite sides of the property, and it's their responsibility to get that flag to a place they feel is defensible, and as well as where they want their starting point to be for the next match. And the downside of that is if an enemy team takes your flag, not only do they then get a respawn the next round because that's completing a major objective, you then have to start at the most disadvantaged spot the next match. So it's really it breeds in you have to understand that all of your actions will either have positive or negative ramifications, and that really prepares you for the major ops, whether it be a TCA event or a Lion Claws or really any of the major Milsim organizers where if your DEO tells you, hey, I want you to go take this objective so our vehicles can stay running for the rest of the day, and you're like, I want to go play in the pretty building, and then your team doesn't have vehicles for the rest of the day. It kind of just reinforces that mentality. So a lot of players have enjoyed that. But and then of course Saturdays it's every match is some variation of team deathmatch with extra steps and unlimited respawn. So it's good old fun airsoft where we still do attack and defend, capture the flag, pilot scenarios, all that jazz.
Nice. Yeah, it's I mean getting all the new players in and turning new players into intermediate players, helping the intermediate players turn into advanced players, and showing them there's more out there. There's nothing wrong with a great day game, great pickup game. I think I played 4 years before I ever went to a Milsim event, and the only Milsim event I went to really for the first 2 or 3 years of that, whatever, was all local. It was all in Florida. I didn't start traveling anywhere for a very long time, and then you realize there is a dramatic difference when you start doing that. You start heading to really going far away. You're meeting people that you normally wouldn't. You see, there's a completely different feel, and it opens up it really opens you up to there's a lot more than what's just in your backyard. So having that variety is good.
I still remember my first time going to North Carolina and playing an airsoft event. I'm like, what are these things? And they're called hills. I'm like, I'm from Florida. We don't have that.
Yep. And I actually after Stonebreaker, I'm actually moving. My fiance has to move away for 2 years, and she's going up to New York. So I'm going that way, and then after getting her settled in, I'm moving over in New York over to go play at the Players Wanted event over there. I'm CO with that one as well. So I have my next 7 weeks is absolutely ridiculous.
Which event is it that you wear the white suit and like you're all mobbed?
So that's
them all.
That was Thunderdome. That was Thunderdome 3 because it was Cartel.
Yeah,
I love that outfit.
There's the Cartel. It's now
so good.
I
private military.
I just found
oil.
I don't know if you guys saw it. I actually just found the other day because I'm now with Thunderdome 4. It's USSR versus US. So I am now Premier Bronjar Blokada. So it's I just gave myself some stupid name. And wait till you see the outfit that goes with that name. But I actually just found the video from the last one. They carried me out on their shoulders. My team. So listen, I've said it a couple times. This is about. I'm starting to try to coin a phrase. I call it pretend hard. What we're doing, everything we do in airsoft. It's dumb from the get-go, right? This is really, unless you're a professional training, everything else it's just dumb, and that's okay. So if the minute you admit that it's dumb, if you allow yourself to get immersed, you do that pretend hard fact. It's so much fun. Whether it's you're pretending hard and you're paying attention to the radio and you're acting as if you're in a squad, or like what I did for Thunderdome, I was a disenfranchised DEA agent who found that true freedom came from cash and money and power, and that's what the white linen suit, and I was wearing a super gaudy G&G Year of the Tiger gold inlay 1911, like the whole thing, man. Like I went all out, and my guys were chanting cocaine, like the whole, and just went out, and they followed me through the gates of hell and back, and it was so amazing. They were laughing the whole time. It was really like I was bursting, just how much fun it was. And these guys came and one guy just jumped in front of me at the end of the game. He's like, hop on. I'm like, what? He goes, Papa, hop on. And I'm like, whatever. And I hop on. He lifts me up and we're coming out. I got my sledgehammer in the air. We're chanting cocaine the whole way out of the mall. Like, so cool. And like I said, because I knew it's dumb to begin with, might as well have as much fun once you admit that it's dumb.
I think in airsoft, it's one of the few times we get to act out our own like movies. So you have paintball and you have like Nerf and all this stuff, but like, with paintball, you can't wear that nice clothing, and you don't get in my opinion, you don't get as realistic as like an experience with Nerf. It's kind of the same thing with airsoft. Yeah. It's the perfect medium to act out those roles. Like I remember like one of my favorite events like that I was LARPing was Wasteland with Mind Games and playing Fallout. I'm a huge Fallout fan, and just playing it, like I remember that my first event, I think I was like 15 or 16 when I went to the first Wasteland, and the following year, the leader of Talon Company, we're a bunch of mercenaries. He's like, "Oh, you're in charge now." I'm like, "What?" So I had like a bunch of guys. So we decided to take over a city and charge rent. And it's like we walk in there like, "Hey, you're a shopkeeper. Give me your money." Just like that kind of stuff. It's like you get to act out your own movie and your own storyline.
Well, Wasteland is like, I don't know if you, Tommy, I think you know this one. I went to the Wasteland and I created a character called the Mayor, and it's the most ridiculous character in the world. Like it's so bad. I wore rubber gloves, so if people touched me, I would peel them off and throw them away like you were a peasant. I made deeds, and I just took claim to all of the land, and I started going around and making people sign for their deeds, and then started charging them rent. I'd like what? And I'm like, here's quick, like, and I ended up with a horde of people around me because I gave away free land so they would protect me. I didn't even bring a gun. I'm so stupid when it comes to doing something like that. I watched I don't know if you guys watched Reacher, the series. Recently was just out. That is like watching a season of baseball for airsofters. You watch that, you're like, man, I can't wait to go. Like John Wick. That's our, that John Wick is every bit of our Super Bowl. That's what gets an airsofter pumped up to go out and want to do it. None of us. We're not professionals at this. We're not doing any of that. It's like playing sandlot football for guys that watch the Super Bowl. It's the exact same thing.
It's not. We're not doing tournaments to win. We're just having a good time. Like you go to like a professional. It's like a football game. It's you're acting out your own role. You don't win nothing but you get the experience and you get the stories and like my highlight of Wasteland was stealing a plant. We saw a plant that this group of people were pretending to worship called Henry, and we stole this plant and we held it hostage. It's a plant, and they're like, "Where's our plant?" And they're freaking out and trying to get the plant from us. And we like, "Well, give us a bunch of money and we'll give you the plant back." And just like, where else could you do that? That's a storyline from a Fallout game. That, I mean, it's just real life.
Sometimes you just got to get out and be dumb, man.
Yeah. And I'm all for it. LARPing is the best. I mean, if LARPing is wrong, then I choose to be wrong, I guess. I don't know.
No, it's true. And you've got to find ways to keep the sport fun for you. Or you have to make yourself go play. Like I know me and Danny have that. It used to be, I hate to say it, because it used to be every 2 weeks you've got to go play a match. And I think that's been a little out the window lately. But I think we've been on the once a month rule for sure.
Yeah.
Tommy's like, "Hey, Danny, you're playing right now. Go play." And I'm like, "Okay, I go. I had to walk all the way home and get my stuff now." But
that's true. Danny used to say that. Oh, I got to go home now. Now it's 20 feet away.
Like, I guess I have to go get my airsoft though.
Yep.
I know that I don't get to play very much, so I reserve it for the times when I go to Milson's. And as of late, I found I really, really, really enjoy the command roles. Not so much. I mean, I don't even have to pull the trigger. I enjoy helping other people have more fun. That's all. I'm all set right there. I can do a whole weekend of that and never throw one BB, and I'm good with it. It's just watching these guys go, helping them get that immersion, giving some where some of them may either be nervous to do it because they only came by themselves or they've never done it before, or some guys who normally just run solo and don't care about it. And I ask, hey, you want to try it? It's up to you. No pressure, but hey. And they try it and they're like, oh man, we're running missions all day. And I'm like, yeah, you got into it. You let yourself really fall into the role. And you're not trying to be hard. You're just playing a character. That's it. It's just a lot of fun. It really is.
I haven't had the chance to do any type of leading or I'm not even sure if I want to do that, but it's definitely something like that'd be awesome in the future. But I have a funny story. You made me think of it. One of the players that came to our
King?
What was that?
Ed King. No, I say hi when people come in.
Oh, okay, gotcha. One of the players that came to our soft opening, he's like, "Oh, this is a pretty cool field and all that, but I'm kind of underwhelmed." And I was talking to him. I'm like, he's like, I said, "Why are you underwhelmed?" He's like, "This is my second time playing airsoft, and my first time playing airsoft was last week, and it was at the Matt Boyle's mini Milsom, and there was like 300 people there." I'm like, you can't make that your first event and then expect every event.
You started way wrong, buddy.
It's like, oh, my first event was a Third Coast event. Like, oh no, that's not a weekly occurrence for airsoft. That's like months and months of planning and getting together with your to get all that to go. I mean,
well, and there's also a huge price gap between that. I mean, that's another thing, Greg, that we did do as an opportunity to give back to the community was, we lowered our prices to $25. Mm-hmm. So, and that's for Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. But yeah, there's a big price drop between, those major milsims, which are $200 to $300, and that's before lodging, gas, or if you're flying or whatever that is. So, and I think when people have to commit that much, it also changes, the caliber of players you're getting at those events too.
And it changes your mentality though. If you're gonna pay that much money to go to a big game, you have to make it fun. Like I paid this much money to be here, so I have to make sure I get my money's worth out of it. Whenever you go to a backyard game, like or not a backyard game, like when you go to a smaller scale game like our weekends, I mean, I'm hoping that for our value, you're getting a ton of stuff back for the either $25. Like, yes, we are still doing a meal some
Yeah,
days.
Brandon, I was actually spoke about that earlier. We're still absolutely doing our Milsim Sundays. So SMG class.
So we normally do keep this. We normally do keep this to an hour. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes. Last thoughts. Anything you want to say? Anything you want to let anybody know? Where to go? How to do it? What's going on?
Check most updates you're going to find on the Black Tiger Facebook. And of course, we're still working to get Apple updated. We're open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have full rental equipments, discounts for very, very large parties. And then if you have a large enough party and you want to do one of the days off, during the week as a special event, we still offer those. Pyro, I forgot. Pyro's back on. That's super important.
There you go.
Pyro is now allowed, except for smokes, except on current days when it's raining. So smokes are all dependent on how the weather was that week, but all pyro is back on. Danny, what did I miss? We're at 12, 6 more. How many more in the future? 1 million?
Probably half of that, 500,000. But the cool thing is, I highly recommend. I hope you guys, if you can come out in the next few weeks and try out Black Tiger, please turn around and come to me or Tommy or one of the referees and tell us what you think about it. Because the good thing about what we're building in the field is you can mold it to what you want to see in your airsoft field. Everything we've built so far is movable. All the buildings and everything, the shipping containers, we have an ability to move them pretty quickly. Um, so if you get to the field and you play a few games, like, hey, this one offshoot container, I don't think it's a good idea. Let us know because we're going to be constantly updating the field. And when you come play this weekend in 6 months, all the containers might be changed. Like we might do a complete change. We might do gradual changes. I mean, this. So give us your feedback on the field and be honest and harsh if you have to be, and let us know what you want to see, and I'll do my best to make it a reality.
Let me jump in on it. For anybody that happens to be watching this, most people that do chime in are better than this, but constructive criticism have something to say. Don't be like, this sucks. They're building a brand new field from scratch. It's not an easy task. So if you've got something to say, you're like, hey, I would love to see this, not this is terrible. Or hey, there was too much distance between these two, nobody could shoot each other, or these things are too close, you can't maneuver through them. Things like that, guys. Not just like, oh, it was terrible, you guys are worse. So
and luckily I haven't gotten nothing but good criticism. I haven't gotten nothing like oh, it's terrible. Everything that people have told me, I have a mental list and I have a written list of everything that people are saying, what buildings I plan on moving, because the 6 containers we have are not out in the field yet. We're actually cutting and building walls this week. So we're gonna be putting them out there next week. But I have mental notes of like where the heavy fighting was, and I want to add a little bit more cover to that location. And then I got a lot of feedback last weekend about dead zones, like where people felt like they couldn't get to a location because there's no cover. I'm definitely taking all that into account, and you'll see changes as soon as possible.
you had a question from Nick. He said, what's considered a large group for discounts?
So anything.
Rentals and it's for our rental packages, that are geared towards birthday parties. So that would be anything above 10.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
Steve, how are you?
Yeah.
Normally with the birthday party, we do a group rate for 10 players, and we'll do something special for the birthday boy. We normally give him a Black Tiger t-shirt, some patches, free admissions for the next time, and then as well as we're doing if you purchase rifle or from our pro store, we'll throw in a free admission for you. That way, next time you can come play for free on us, and we try to incentivize like that.
Yeah, and then outside of the rental group rates, I know we had a group from Canada come. I want to say there was 40 or 50 guys that came from
Holy
Canada
cow.
on a weekday. It was Greg. We can talk about this outside of that.
Oh my god, that was an awesome group.
It was an awesome group, but it's not stream appropriate for us to talk about.
Okay.
But for them, I think that was like 50. It was like 40 or 50. If you have groups like that, whether it be office events or anything like that, give us a call and we will do everything in our power to take care of you to make it where you guys can have a good time, whether it be a team builder or anything.
And the good thing is we own the property. We could do games on any day of the week. If we're not open Monday to Thursday, but if you have a group that wants to play on a Tuesday, I don't mind opening it up for a group of 20 people to come out and have a good time, or like a office party or whatever. If you want to do it on a normal weekday, let me know and we'll do it. We'll get you sorted.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. It's I said it at the beginning. It really is cool having more fields. This is not that the field moved. It is more fields. You added a whole new field, and that really is fantastic. Again, it's now people have options. There's places for them to grow. So if one weekend they go to DV8, one weekend they go to you, one weekend they come down to me, one weekend they go indoor to CIA, or they come down to me for indoor, which is coming very soon, by the way. The options are there, and all it's going to do is grow the community, and that's the whole idea. Get as many people out there playing as possible, and really grow it in a constructive way.
Yeah. What I'm hoping for, because Alex Fallon is he's helping out the DV8. And we were joking about it. And if I can have the opportunity to start a JTF mission at DV8 and get black bagged and then end up at the Black Tiger facility, from a player perspective, I have no idea that was going to happen. I think that'll be an epoch for Airsoft for sure.
Yeah, again, adding those extra features really make a difference. Some people that don't get a chance to go to certain places or have never even heard of something like that before. Yes, Ed, we've been working on a building for a year now. We finally, looks like we're in the final negotiating stages. 28,000 square foot building, and we are a little over 15,000 of that. Approximately 15,000 of that is going to be just a playable arena. Then there's actually going to be the other side, which has the store, the shop, it's the cafe, 4 VR rooms. We're putting a classroom in. We're doing guided instruction as well as open classrooms, so you can actually show up and pay a reduced rate to sit there, use our tools and our brain, and we show you how to do it, with your hands. So it's we're trying to bring a lot more than that. My dream is going to come true. We're actually going to be able to do a summer camp. That has been something I wanted to do for years, and we're actually going to be able to do summer camps now. So, and it's going to be 7 days a week, and we're still doing the outdoor. So, again, adding, always adding something new, more fields, more players, more ways of doing it. So, absolutely.
Well, I think that sums it up for Black Tiger for us. Getting lost connectivity, perfect timing there. But no, that's it. Just check out our Facebook, and if you have any questions, reach out to us on Messenger or call us. And then, of course, Greg, thank you for having us on.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you guys for being here. Thank everybody who came out, came into the chat. Really do appreciate it. Depending on where you live or how far you want to drive, head on over to Black Tiger this weekend. Up in technically it is Plant City. Is that right?
Plant City. Yep.
Up in Plant City, or come on down to us over in Cape Coral and St. James City, and we're gonna have a great weekend, guys. Until next time, appreciate it, and we will see you.